figuring out how to work things.
I,
It works. I can hear myself. That's cool. So now I
I,
just need to
but
mute.
where?
I'm on Twitch. I have no idea if I'm on YouTube. Oh, I'm on YouTube as well. This is so cool. I'm on the promo video. Right, this is working exactly how I want it. It's
Oh, it works.
and I have a picture of me over there. Let me get what. Oh yeah,
It's
that's
working.
weird. Okay, it is working. We are live. This is Debbie figuring out how to do things live on air because what other way would you want to do things without like, just putting pressure on your. Oh, mute. Okay, I've got myself on Twitch. I've got myself on YouTube at the same time. This is amazing. Oh my God, I've got somebody in the house. The JS Baguette. I love the logo. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Is it
Um,
working?
this is
I
working.
need to see this stream.
Look
Wait.
at that. Woohoo! And I should
Huh?
change this. And oh, we have another one here. Good vibes. Thank you. So I just had a lot of problems there. Basically, what happened was my computer was. Am I using Restream? I am. I don't even know how I'm doing what I'm doing because Ecamm Live is doing it all for me and it's using Restream, and I'm just like pressing buttons and hoping it works. And that's basically what's going on here, which is kind of ridiculous. But it's working. So we are live. I am here in Debbie's studio, woohoo, with the one and only Mr. Tim Bennix.
Hello, everybody. Debbie, it
Yeah.
works. I'm so proud of you for
I know,
clicking the
I
button.
got it, I did it, I did it. It might all break in a minute, but So the last
We
time
actually have like 7 people watching on YouTube. Holy,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's incredible. Oh, and Lucy's here. Lucy in the house. I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
Lucy.
I love it.
What's up?
So yeah, basically, I'm learning how to do two things at once. So I'm YouTubing and Twitching at the same time, and that's kind of like it's full on stuff, like, right? And Micho, you're back. Micho was with me this morning.
Ah, cool.
So that's great. Let me put the mic, make sure the mic's in the right place. Okay, this is brilliant. This is working. I like when things work. So what are we doing today, Tim?
Me too.
First of all, people know me. So a lot of these people are following me and they know me. If they don't know me, I think you should know me. But they don't all know you. Do you want to like introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. So I am Tim. I am a front-end developer and I love to use Vue.js, and I am a Nuxt ambassador, just like Debbie. And you might know me because I have known Debbie for a while now. We've spoken at all the same conferences. We try to hang out when we can. But I used to be one of those director types at agencies working on crazy projects, not coding as much. And now I actually work at Uniform, where I am a developer advocate, which was completely inspired by what Debbie did, which is kind of fun. So she kind of influences my life a bit. Anyways, here we go. And so, Debbie, I think these people are ready to see you struggle with some React, right?
Yeah,
I'm kind of worried.
So I love the fact that me and you both changed our jobs in the space of the last couple of weeks and
Yep.
literally went from being at the top of our game, because like pretty much we were like really good at what we do, to being thrown into a massive ocean and like just being told to swim and just like learn and just figure it out. And it's like, I don't know about you,
Yep.
Tim, but I feel like a junior developer all over again.
You know what? I love being on the junior end of the scale because then the people around you are so awesome. You
They
get to
are.
learn and grow, and you know what? It's fun. Like when I started, my new boss told me, dude, so there's this Gatsby conference. We're going to do, a workshop. Why don't you just do it? I'm like, oh, okay. So what do I have to do? Yeah, you have to use that software, that one, and that one. Is like, oh, I haven't used any of that. So let's just grab a week and learn this stuff. And that's just fun to do. And you know what? It even worked. It was actually cool.
You did it and it was good.
And yeah, and I did all the React, and it wasn't broken.
You
At
are
least I think.
hardcore. You are hardcore. You're hardcore.
It
You're more
was.
hardcore than me.
I don't know, man. I'm going to show you some code I wrote. Let's see if it's React, if it's correct based on the React people.
How do you want to do this?
Let's see.
Should we do it on? You would do it on my screen, right? I don't even know what we're going to build. I don't even know what we're going to do. What are we going to do? We didn't plan this.
Actually, no, that's kind of silly, isn't it? We didn't really. We're just like, let's try to use some React on
Live.
the stream. So
Yeah.
you know what I can do? I can actually demo you what I've built. and maybe just have a look how that looks, and then maybe do something together? Would that, I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out the technicalities of this because that means you're
Share
going
your
to
screen
share
and
your
run kind
screen.
of thing.
And I let me like
How about I
yes.
click share screen and you
Oh, can
check
you
what
click
Ecam
share
tells
screens?
you?
Yeah.
Oh, of
If you
course I
can do
can.
that, then I have to.
How about this?
Oh wow. Oh okay. Then how do I do this? How do I do this? This is
I'm
interesting.
actually gonna check on YouTube now on my phone how this looks, because I haven't I cannot see. I only have one screen, right? So
So
let me see. I'll go
if
to
I
your
share
screen.
this right and I unlock this, this might work. And instead I show. Can I just show your screen? No, that doesn't.
There must be a way.
No,
There
I think
must
I
be a
have to
way.
throw it in. I have to throw it in. I get it. We go back here. I've got another thing in here that says assign no with
Yeah, so I'm
PHP.
looking at some, yeah,
So
go
look
for
with
it. I'm looking at the chat.
Sorry, I've got four screens here, and it's like oh, I've locked the scene. If you lock the scene, then you can't modify the scene. Did you know that? This is like learning technical thing. Oh, look, there we are. Right. And it's
Is it
with
working?
people. Yeah, but it's just you. So how can I get me on there as well? Hang on a moment.
That would be nice, right?
Oh, you're sharing. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't go to my guest window because then I'm like sharing Inception.
And then I have to change me to my camera, not my iPad, and add me to the left.
Oh, there's
Oh, and
so
then
much.
but that didn't do what it was
I
meant
love
to do.
unplanned streams are the best. I love it. And you know what? It's going to be cool.
Why can I not put us on the screen? You would just imagine that that would just work, wouldn't it? You can't, I think. Really, Florent? You can't?
Florent, help us.
You should be able to just add people to the screen. Like if I add Tim to the right, it's going to put him on the right. Yeah, you could be right. But it says with people.
Now
So
it's only me, I think.
I think it might be only you. Why would it only be you? Not with your software. I don't have the right software. Oh my gosh, seriously. This is why I do all the streaming and I do all the work because then it's easy because I have the possibility of doing that. So
Choosing everything. How about let's keep it like this for a sec, and I'll just show you what I've done, and people can just gawk at my code and see if it works. How
I
about
don't know.
that?
I think
Just
you have too much going on. Why don't you teach me what you know and we build something simple?
how about let's start from what I've done, because I had to learn some shit right last week. And then after that, we're just going to do something on the screen. So let me just first give you a demo of what I did, which is this website.
Okay.
So this is completely fake, fancy, static website built in Gatsby, this one. And so we had a workshop where people used Content Stack, which is a headless CMS, to
Mm-hmm.
connect to Gatsby. You know, that's the grid sum of the React world.
Yeah.
And basically use React and do some stuff to get this on the page. And so the part of what I had to do was this little bit here, right? So this is a component that says, hey there, this is the first time you're visiting this website. Read some blog posts and see my content change. So, because where I work, we do a lot of personalization on hydration time, for example. So right now, when I go to the blog and I click on this blog post here, it's all nice and dandy. And I'll go back to the homepage and suddenly it says, hey, you are an existing visitor. We have seen you here before. Nice. And so this is all React based, right? And so we are tracking people. So when I now click on this one and I refresh my page, so I visited twice. Now I go to the homepage and now it changed again. And so we have a little tool here that shows you the points scored for visiting
Mm-hmm.
whatever you visited. And then so you can kind of, in a Jamstack website, personalize dynamic stuff. So that's what I demoed. And we had a bunch of slides and I coded it on the screen. And then a whole bunch of people in that workshop also coded along, basically. And before that workshop, I had never used any of this stuff, as in zero experience. Of course, I've used React before, but not like since like the hooks came in. I'm from before that time. right? I'm from the time when you used React and you had to hack it to do what you wanted it to do. Right now, it's a lot better, I guess. But so that's what I did. And in the end, based on a lot of issues with getting access, I had to just basically do it all in one day. And so let's have a look at that React then, right? So this thing is Gatsby. So if you know Gritsum, you kind of know that we have those GraphQL queries to get something in your local instance or your local schema, and then you can build your page from that. So they had already provided us with a React website. And then what I had to do is put our uniform stuff around it. So I had to learn a bit of React to see, hey, how does all that stuff work? Because when I see this stuff as a Vue.js developer, look at this if statement. Like, so if we have this stuff, we render something, and then you have this crazy shit, and then after you do nothing. In my opinion, what is this? Like, Debbie, what do you think? To me, this feels broken.
Yeah,
The
it's
strangest syntax. It's like old school PHP if statements in line or something.
.NET has taken over our stuff.
Exactly. Because then we had this other component that I built. Look, we have this. It's like, what is happening? It
Yes,
is my
there's a
strangest.
fragment. I learned that.
Exactly.
I learned that.
Oh yeah,
Woo!
me too. But I was like, why isn't there like some sort of, why don't you just call it this? Right? Why does it have to be this empty weird shit?
Because it's too long to write, and they decided to be lazy. That's okay.
Perhaps. The one thing I do like is that this is actually a component, but it's basically just a function that returns something and you import React. Rather than having it as a Vue file, you can actually compose just with JavaScript files.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool. So it knows this is like JSX. But this is still strange to me.
Okay, I'm gonna
Because
stop because it's just this you're way too advanced for me.
okay, you
Let's
know
go
what?
back. Let's
We go
go
back. Yeah, sure. And then
back.
you tell me what you want to see.
I'm
That's all
gonna
good.
add you to the right. There you are. I'm gonna add me. Where am I gone? I disappeared.
I think I am still on the screen. Oh, now I'm alone.
I know. I've disappeared.
So I must say yeah, thanks, Cam. Actually, so Cam, he's in the chat and on YouTube, and he is like the principal architect of where I work. It's insanely smart, doing everything I haven't done before. And then I have questions on like the simplest shit, right? Like, what is this? And he has to explain it to me. I wish we do more. Oh, what is happening with the stream, Debbie?
Because
I
you
see
broke it.
myself like a couple of times.
You made me break everything by doing all
Okay,
this
I'm stopping
sharing the
sharing now.
screen.
How
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
you have to stop sharing. I can't go on until you
I
stop
did.
sharing. Okay.
Okay, so I stopped sharing. No, but it's kind of fun to dive into something that you haven't done before, and then you work with people who are so good at it that it's mind-boggling. I cannot wait to learn more, and I also cannot wait to put like the Vue perspective on this, and then have a look at that because at Uniform we also do a bunch of Vue stuff, and then the way this personalization works is kind of like with React it feels very native. But if you want to do it with Vue, it's kind of a different approach. It's more template driven, right? So I'm actually really interested into how that all works. So Debbie, you've been
So
quiet because you've been clicking buttons on your.
I lost myself. Like seriously, I've lost
No,
myself.
but I see you on the screen.
Oh,
We're
I'm
good.
back. Yeah, yeah. It actually okay. I've got it. So now if I click this, okay. So Ecamm is great software, right? So what do I do here? I'm gonna. But
Now
this
it's only me again. I don't know what you're doing.
no. Give me a second. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. So Ecamm is great software, but if you get the guest to share the screen, I just disappear as if I don't exist, which I think is great if you're doing a webinar and setting up for someone else to come online. But
Mhm.
it's not done for this kind of like.
Clearly.
So then it would just be you a webinar on your own, and it was wrecking my head. So Florent was right.
Anyways.
It's working. Good job, Debbie. Thank you, Florent. So what I want to do is I want to take things back because you've just gone and broken everyone's heads with all this, right?
I
Um,
might have. Sorry.
Florin has a solution, but now is not the right time. Exactly right. We'll do that. We'll do that on another call, on another live stream. So I want you to take me to basics of React, right? Because I've literally just started. I am a beginner. I am a newbie. I am a like really done like a couple of hours workshop, and that's about it, right? Um,
Mhm.
and you've just like gone and done a whole workshop and taught everyone. You've worked with
But
providers
you
and
know
all
what?
this stuff. So
So Deb, there
yeah,
is a difference here because some people learn differently than others. I
yeah.
have, for some reason, maybe because of my origins in the Netherlands, I have this ability to just assume something works and then fiddle with it and learn over time. That's why what I did looks like a lot. But
Hmm.
maybe I don't know it all, but I have the understanding of concepts. I have experience building websites, and I assume JSX just works. And then
Yeah.
you run with it.
Whereas I
And
want to know
other
everything
people,
that's happening, and I want to know that
exactly, and
syntax, and I don't
exactly.
won't go further until I actually understand every single little piece.
Yeah,
So
and there's just differences in learning,
we
and
would
I am
work
the
terrible
opposite of
together,
you.
wouldn't we?
Probably.
Right. So let's actually start from scratch and build a React application
Yeah,
and throw
sure.
some stuff in it. And you can talk me through it because you already know all this stuff. You might not be able to
I
explain
hope so.
it.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Let's try.
what do we? Where do we start?
Well, how do you normally start a React project? I guess there's React scripts, right, to just get rolling. Or you know what? Why don't we just use Next? Because I
No, no,
think,
no, no, no. Let's not, no, because then you're putting overhead on top and you're actually, it's like, it's like when you use Nuxt, right? It makes it so easy that things just happen and get done. And so there's a lot of work behind the scenes that Nuxt does, which is
yeah, this
great.
is true.
But then
This
you
is
don't
true.
actually understand the thing. So if you go from Nuxt then to work in Vue, you don't know how to the Vue router. You don't know how to do certain things. So
This is true. Why don't we
let's
just
go
use
back to
create
basics.
React app and just like Vue CLI, we have create React app, right? And then we can just run with that.
Oh, someone has a bad memory. So can you fill in a little bit there on that question while I do this? Can you see the
What is
questions?
the name of this guy? I saw their blog before, but I have a bad memory. Sorry. Is that guy me?
Yeah. Well, I
Oh,
don't see another guy here. Do you?
I don't know. Okay, so my name is Tim, and you saw my blog at timbennix.dev or YouTube or whatever.
Okay, let's go to the React docs.
Oh, that's a good start. This is going to be a long afternoon.
You know, I haven't read the docs yet. Has anyone else ever read the docs?
No, I haven't.
I'm not good at reading. I like it doesn't have pictures. I don't read. I'm sorry. I know I should read docs, but I like videos. Like I skip to here to here. Where is the code? Where is the code? There it is.
Here we
That's all
go.
I see. That's all I
Let's
want to
let's.
see. Let's do
Can
this.
you please just type this and run with it?
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
all I want to do. Okay, come on. Okay, what's happening? It's going slow.
Yeah, so I think my last time of using React was probably 2014 before I came to France. That's when I actually built an application in it. So
I did
that's
it 3 years ago. I first learned React before I learned JavaScript, which is crazy.
how's that? How you learned React before you learned JavaScript?
Which
That
is why I
that
don't know
just
React because I built a React project and I had no idea what was JavaScript, what was React, and
that
what was
yeah, that
what.
just pains my brain to hear.
Yes, and that's why it all went wrong. I need an M1. I do need an M1. I so need an M1. Like literally,
Actually,
my computer is
yeah.
actually driving me crazy. It's like not doing what it should be doing, and it should be so simple. I'm
So
actually
Deb, you
going
have a
to turn
fancy
off.
new job with the San Francisco company.
No, I
You
don't
can
work for
just
a San
ask them for
Francisco
one.
company,
Oh no,
thankfully.
you don't. It's not. It's actually, isn't it Israeli?
Yes, exactly.
No. Am I right? Yes.
This is really.
So, but that means they probably have cash. Why don't you
Yeah,
just
but
ask for a nice computer?
because I would feel guilty like just asking for a computer when I have a computer. It doesn't make sense to me. That's me. It's like I have one. So why would I need another one? What do you do
Well,
with two
I
computers?
have to be honest. I actually haven't also bought anything new for my new job because what I want, it's not on the market because everybody keeps on buying it, like the processor I want and stuff. So I might just go for one of those M1 MacBooks also and buy a PC later because nothing is on the market. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
only
I
M1 Mini handles multi-screen for now, and Mini is a bit mini. That's the problem. I need like we have like I have four screens going on here. I wouldn't be able to just have one screen. And you're the same,
I
right?
think your Mac Mini can probably deal with that. Well, right now, look where I am. I'm in a farm. Like there's ADSL internet. I have only one screen. There, I
So
don't need anything else.
while this
Okay,
is
did it work?
yeah, no, it's I'm actually gonna have live stream issues live on air. And we're gonna die very we're gonna die much earlier than I would have hoped for. So we're just gonna like kind of go over this while it's installing. It's gonna take a while, but my battery is dying again. And this is so not
Oh
good.
no.
I probably do need a new computer. I'm guessing it's
Yeah, well, if your battery goes down while it's plugged in,
yeah.
there's something up because maybe or your battery like maybe your the plug doesn't generate enough power if it's third party or something.
Yeah. You know what? I could do that. I could unplug it.
If you
Sure.
if you unplug it, we might just destroy this whole stream. So I'm a
No,
bit
because it's
worried.
got battery, right?
If you say so.
It's a plug. If I plug it out, it's got battery. You would think it just works.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm gonna have to
How,
do that. So I want you to actually, because let me see, that's still installing and that's gonna take way too long. So
how about I install it on my end while you do some plug and play stuff?
yeah, because you could set up a live share and I could connect to you that way. Um, that would work. Dun, dun, dun. Right, everyone, this is what you do when things go wrong. You unplug your computer in the middle of a live stream.
I'm honestly worried about what's happening.
Um, okay, we've unplugged. Are we still alive? It is so hot.
Oh, it seems to be working.
Yeah, and I'm plugging it in direct to the. I have like I don't know why when they build apartments, um, they that seems to be doing better. I don't have that big plug thing in the middle, but it's actually now like it's not.
Nobody sees what you're doing,
Oh,
so
it's
you're
that's
kind
so
of
much
narrating
better.
half of it.
Like this is
It's
like
working.
um if if
Did
if
we just
working
solve your issue?
if working means I have like battery, then it's working. But oh, you poor cable. Why are you doing this to me?
So on my end, while this circus is unfolding, I'm doing
I heard a
npm
noise.
create react app.
Okay, it's plugged in.
Okay, how about your install? Is it there?
I've got 85% battery while I'm plugged in.
Well, you're done. No, it's almost done.
Almost, but it's going faster.
Oh,
It's going faster. It's going faster. Okay, that's good. I think yeah, because I'm plugged in. Like I'm plugged in from there to here to here.
holy crap! So people are asking what we are actually doing this stream. So Monish, we're trying to do
Right.
some React
We're trying
while
to
we
learn
are
React.
Vue.js
Yes.
experts. Yes, exactly. So Debbie just started an npm
So
start
CD my
React
app.
script, or yeah. So we have an app now. There we go.
And I should do. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this, but this is what I do all the time, which is probably not the best way. So I have VS Code open, and then I like say open VS Code again inside my app. I'm sure there's a better way, but it's just the way I do it all the time. Right. So now I'm actually inside my app. I use VS Code Insiders, by the way, in case you're wondering why I was doing Insiders. Insiders is like living on the edge. As you can see, I live on the edge, which means it's like the not the beta product, but like the like Chrome Canary,
Newest stuff comes in.
the
Yeah, it's
newest
Canary
stuff, and things
basically.
might break and
Yeah.
stuff, but you get to play with things sooner. So I am on the Insiders one. It's the Microsoft.
Yeah. So you thought we'll do a live stream on battery power, not knowing React on insiders. Let's
Hang
see.
on, I've got 85% battery while I'm plugged in. This is
No, but we're good. So it will at one point just open up, or I mean, build up the battery. We're good.
Yeah, I think it's better that's plugged in direct to one extension rather than two. What is it? CD start. What is it? Start yarn start. Are we start in React?
All on the if you go to the Facebook docs, it says npm, but I'm assuming
Oh
just
no, I'm a
do
yarn.
yarn start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yarn start should do it.
Okay, so we're learning how to build a React app. That's what we're doing today. Everyone in the chat, I'm sorry for all these issues, but yeah, I think to be honest, I don't know what's going on. I need a technician to come in.
So So what would be a fun thing to build while this thing is running? Um, because we should see something on the screen soon, right? Oh, it's still
It's
starting.
starting the development
Okay, so
because we don't have like Nooks, this kind of like, ooh, like this cool thing, right?
yeah,
React.
there's nice stuff. No, we don't have that here. But also, I feel like it's pretty heavy on Webpack because I just installed it on my end and it took a
Yeah.
while,
All right.
right?
So it's not
So
just me. Okay, that's
no, no, no.
great. Yay!
Yeah.
I have a React app. I've
Oh.
learned React now. Okay, the
Okay.
stream is over. We're going home.
So I don't want to be building like a to-do
Oh, I
list
do
app. That's a
yarn
bit
dev. I
boring.
don't do yarn start. Why did I do start and not yarn? It's not the same thing. Like dev start. Are we not?
Oh, okay. Hey, Tony, that's my colleague who actually knows a whole bunch about this stuff, and who's been making jokes in our Slack about me not understanding, thinking React looks crazy.
Oh, I'm doing the
So
develop. No, I'm doing the development build. So start is working. Where am I packaged, Jason? Let's have a look in the package, Jason.
yeah,
Right.
let's have a look at the package, Jason.
Let's close this terminal a little bit so I've got more space. So I have start is start. Yeah, it is start. There's no dev. Tony, there's no dev. That's you. That's
Tony, that
that's
might, or yeah, or next maybe.
yeah. There's no dev in here. There's only start. Right. So we got a start script. We're starting. That's good. Um,
So how about we build a website that shows images of dogs?
I hate dogs, Tim.
I don't know.
Can we not have?
Eh?
It's not that I hate dogs. They attack me when I'm running. They literally just all find
I'm
me
dead.
and
I'm just dead.
they come running at me and they bark and they scream and I'm like this running and I'm like go away. So I just
Okay, so
yeah.
what do you want to make the what? Okay, you
Can we
tell
do
me
food
then.
or food or running or something?
Oh,
Something
food. No, I
fun.
like food.
Good.
Food
I
is
like food.
cool.
Right. So let me have a look first because seriously, this is like the first time I have actually written Great Nook stuff in 3 years. So we have a package JSON. I get that. We have a README that nobody reads. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. It even tells you this. Okay, that's great. That's cool. Right. Let's not
People
read that.
tend not to read it though. Not people like us. We don't read
No.
that shit.
We've got
Why don't you just go to?
your language is
Oh,
terrible, by the way.
oh, sorry.
Right. We have an
How
app
many Americans
CSS.
do we have in the stream? I'll make it clean.
So this is our global CSS. Okay, that's cool. We have an
Okay.
app.js. This is, I'm guessing, this is where our application starts from. We're importing our logo. We're importing the CSS. Right. Let me talk you through the code. This is me teaching without knowing what I'm doing. Take. Give it. Wait for it. Div class name equals app. So our class name is app. Our header class name is app header. That's just our header component. No, it's not. It's native HTML. There's no header component. Image source logo. Okay, we've got an image. We need to use class name because in React, because we're in JavaScript land and class is taken, so we're using class name. Oh, look at that.
Exactly. But I feel like isn't index.js where it really starts, or is it actually app.js?
Oh, is
I don't
it? Oh,
know.
I don't know. Oh
Oh,
no, we're
what missing?
exporting. Okay, we're exporting the app, right? We're exporting the app.
Okay, so but we're exporting it to index, I
And
guess.
this is our index.
Ah, here
right?
we go.
Okay, so
this is where it's
yeah, this is like where everything starts from, right? Really. So we're
Now I
importing
get it.
React. We need
Yeah.
to import React DOM. We're importing our index CSS. We're importing app, which is our page, right? As our application,
Exactly.
right? We're importing report web vitals. Okay, I didn't know that we were doing that. But that's
I'm keen to see
cool.
what that is. But
That's cool.
Debs, before we go on, everybody in the chat says we should buy it to make it to-do app, but
Oh
we're
God,
just not going to
no,
do that,
that's
right?
too complicated for me. That means like data
State.
and state. Like that would wreck my head. Come on, who said that? Danny, give me a break. This
Like-
is my first time.
Like a lot of people.
I want to build a
No,
button
let's-
that just clicks and does something or something.
I want to see food on the screen. Let's do something simpler. And then we can maybe go into some state or
yeah, like
whatever.
you're making me
hooks.
sweat here. Like literally, this is like full on hardcore stuff for me. Oh, Micho, you do have a point.
He does have a point.
But Micho,
He
I'm
totally
not
does.
good enough to build a to-do app right now on the first live stream, first ever time building React. Micho, I'm going to get you on a live stream and you're going to teach me how, and then you'll know what it's like.
You know what? Let's start simple. And you know what?
Right.
If we have a bit of time left and it feels like we can do more, let's go. But
Right.
let's start with some basics,
let me
right?
let me go through it just a little bit. So React DOM, we're rendering React in strict mode. One of the reasons that we do it in strict mode is to make sure we're applying the stricter version of React, so we don't do old kind of code that was taken away and whatever, right? And our app is our app component that's imported here. This is interesting because we don't import components anymore in Nuxt, right? So seeing
No,
this here
it
is
happens automatically in Next.
exactly.
Exactly.
And then we've got document get element by ID root. So obviously we've got this document with the ID of root, and we're like injecting our whole application into there. Okay,
But
cool.
where is that root? I don't see the HTML for that. That's
Where do we
interesting.
find root? It's a very good question, actually.
Oh, I guess in the public folder, there's probably an index file.
Really?
I think so. Click on index.
Okay.
Is there a root somewhere? This is such old school Webpack style stuff, it seems.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
there's the root.
so it's in the body.
There's like Webpack injection stuff going on in the header also. You see those variables, public URL,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay, so this is the public folder is where we're going to find the basic HTML
Hmm.
file that gets where everything gets injected. So this will get replaced by everything that we put in their app.js file, right?
Yeah, I guess. And then so there should be a div with class
Because
app.
the index is just like a wrapper around that. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
Hmm.
So
So
everything
what
we
I
work on
feel
is,
like with
okay.
yeah, so
Sorry.
so like React loves to wrap stuff in components and wrap each other, and it's like kind of this inception of component in component in component,
So
right?
here,
Because it
here
seems
we've
like
got,
all the data bubbles down from those components down, right? So, anyways, continue. Let's see how that
I was just
works
going to
later.
say, like, we don't even have a components folder, right? We have to like literally hardcore everything ourselves, right? So in here, I want to
So-
make a components, right? We put it in
yeah,
source,
that
don't
seems correct to me.
we? Okay, great. We've got a components folder and we want to make a component, right? What's our syntax? What we do, button dot,
Let's. I guess it's JS
right?
because app is also JS, right?
We could do JSX and we could do TS and we could do TSX and we could get all complicated, but let's keep it simple.
Oh boy, let's start simple. I
Uh,
feel like don't we have to import React into that component? Well, let's maybe read the docs. Let's say what they say.
where do you start with docs? Tutorial. Let's do a tutorial. Right. Okay. Before we start the tutorial, look, this is how Debbie reads docs. Find the code. Where's the code? Where's the code? Where's the code? There's the
We're so
code.
alike. Oh, we're so alike.
I'm sorry. I just.
Oh, so look,
Oh, this looks
it
nice.
has to extend the React component.
Yes, because that's the
It's
main
kind of
component.
fancy.
Yeah.
I like this.
So that's a kind of a. I was expecting something smaller.
Well, if you look at the stuff I showed earlier, that was a
No,
much
yours is too hard.
simpler
No, it was
approach.
not. It was so not. Oh, these are making a TikTok game. Oh my god. Should we do this? Should we do the tutorial live on air?
You know
But
what?
that's
Let's do
not.
that.
But that's a shopping list. That's not a shopping list. And then it goes into a shopping list, and then it goes into the starter code, and then it goes.
You know what?
You
I
know
kind of
what?
don't like this tutorial because is
Yeah,
it actually making a shopping list or some crazy game?
I don't
I
know.
don't actually understand. Is it kind of bad?
I don't know. Someone tell me why is this tutorial not just doing what I want it to do? Okay, let's start inspecting the starter code. If you're going to work in the tutorial in your browser, open this code. um, I don't know. I think we'll just take this, right? So this is the board. Oh, this is gonna be way too complicated. Someone told me this was really good, but this looks like over my head. Does this look
Honestly,
over
if you
your head?
compare this to the if you compare this to like Nuxt starters and how it's explained, it's like for different people.
Oh my god. Like this is yeah. Like this.
You know what you can do though, Debs? Like we just made this button component, right? Why don't you just take one of those? Hey, this is a component. We take that and put it in and see if we can make a button.
I found a button.
No, this is CSS. This is styling.
Yeah, is that not good? Should we not just start with styling? No.
Well, we don't have HTML to style.
Oh, what do you
Oh
mean we
wait,
don't have
look at
HTML?
this.
Have you not done this before? This is I know a little bit about this. So this is theme context. That's theming. So are we going to theme as we go along? Shall we theme as we go along? It's like
Yeah,
how does
sure.
so basically we've just discovered that coming from Vue into React, we have no idea how to get started, and it's not very easy, is it? I mean, we could read the. Let's do Hello World. Should we do Hello
But
World?
that's but look at this. This is different again.
I'm sorry, but this is quite interesting, right? Of how to read the docs live on air. Um,
Well, honestly, this is like Tim or Debbie tries something new and it honestly sucks. Let's be honest. Like,
right.
give me one way to build something and actually build it. But it's all over the place.
Yeah, because it's explaining all the ways of doing stuff. So like, this is rendering elements into the DOM. So this is like, yeah, but we don't want to update the rendered element. We want to just use it. We want to create a component. So let's just go to components, right?
Oh, there it is.
Okay,
Oh, look, it's different again. Oh
I
no,
know.
there it is. Yes. Let's do an
Okay, let's
ES6
do
class.
this.
I'm down with classes. Let's do
Okay.
that. Right?
So this is a component. It's a valid React component because it accepts single props, which stands for
Okay.
properties, right? That makes sense. That's cool.
Hmm.
And we call such components function components because they are literally JavaScript functions. That makes sense. So you can also use ES6. This is where you get confusing. It's like, give me one way or another, right? So we want to use this way, right? So this is our component. Am I right? This is not a
Yeah.
this is not a button. This is a welcome. So should we call it welcome?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't know if in React it should be capital letters. Like in Vue, I always have them capital. I don't know if that's
I don't know how that is in React. So I'm gonna screw this up completely by my colleague just putting in the chat that nobody uses classes like that anymore in React.
Oh my god! How is one meant to learn things?
Wait, I honestly just asked him, like, okay, what do we do?
Okay.
Oh, he says hooks have obsoleted those components. But
Right, that makes sense. So
why is but why classes? But why is this then on the docs? If this okay, is there a way to find best practices in React? Maybe that's the thing.
I
Because in Vue there are a couple of ways to do things also, but it seems like here you can go like multi-way, like you can go like 16 ways.
like
Because it's
look,
in the end, it's just yeah.
the tutorial is going to teach you how to build an. That's too long. That's too complicated. You know. This is crazy. Right, let's just
Oh wait,
throw
what
a
is this?
shopping.
Oh, there's another class.
No, but yeah,
Okay,
but
let's just go with class. There's no better example. So
the whole tutorial is built with class, and you're telling me that we shouldn't be building with class. Then how are you meant to learn React? Okay. You see, this is the thing. This is where it gets complicated. Like, here's a button, right? This is great. But where's the button component? We get a board, we get a square. This is all in classes. Why are they not using
yeah,
classes because of hooks? But the whole tutorial is built with classes? I'm not understanding.
yeah, exactly. I agree. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I can put anything in the chat, right? Because I thought I found something. Anyways, you know what? Let's just use these classes because that's what they're telling us to use in all of the docs.
Yeah, let's just go back here and find my little button. What were we doing? We were doing a shopping list, weren't we?
Oh, okay.
What did we do? We did welcome.
Yes, we did welcome, exactly. You think that's Algolia? Probably not.
I have no idea. Right, well, look at this. Oh, this is function.
Well,
we're not classes anymore.
but the thing is, we don't really need that part, right? Because the React DOM rendering, we already have that in our app.js. So we kind of only need that component. You
Right.
see? So you see here, welcome component is literally a function, which is actually, so we can maybe just do export default function or export function welcome, and that's your component.
Yeah, you see,
Yeah, that's nice. I like this. So we don't need to use the class here then.
that's because that's composing, and we skipped composing. So first is rendering, right? So we've got
I like this.
you
This is
like
clean.
this? Really?
Well, look, function welcome.
Right.
And then you just render welcome because of JSX, it became a component, I think.
So we're getting rid of this and putting this. But then this is function app. See, this is complicated. Function welcome props, return hello props.name. I get that. That makes sense. But then we're like saying function app return div welcome. Oh, this
Well, yeah, but we have that already, right? That's in our app.js. So what we have to do is in this welcome.js, you return that function as an export. And then app.js needs to import it, and then it can probably use welcome name Sarah.
You're meant to be teaching.
Right? Because okay. But let me try something. So go to app.js, please.
Yes.
So in app.js, here, this is basically our wrapper where we want to put stuff.
Exactly.
And so you see below it says export default app. That means when app.js is loaded, because app is also a component.
Mm-hmm.
So it exports this app function. So when you go to index.js, yeah, exactly. When you look at index.js, it imports app from app and then renders app as a component.
Yes.
Right. So a component is basically just a function. So now when you go back to app.js, here what we want is to import welcome and then just put in welcome as a component somewhere.
Okay. That looks easy.
That makes sense, right? From
I guess.
components welcome. Exactly.
Okay.
And now you just put welcome
to get rid of all this
crap. Or no, I'm not saying crap.
We can leave the logo just for now.
Yeah, exactly. So here we just say welcome Debbie or something. I think name equals Debbie. And that's a prop.
We don't have to bind like in Vue. We don't do that.
No, I don't think so. This is JSX, I think. Okay, now let's go to welcome.
Okay.
And then we remove that function app.
Because that's in our app.
Then we already have that. And then here we do export default welcome, I think.
Okay.
And let's have a look at app again. Yeah. This seems like this is
that makes sense. So we've got a function.
We're
passing in props, and then the function is going to return a h1 tag that says hello props.name.
Yeah, props.name. Yeah.
Name is what we put in here.
Exactly.
Is what we would normally bind in Vue. So welcome name equals Debbie, which we welcome Debbie. And that should work. And if we go into here, yay!
Did it work? Okay. You know what? This is, you know what? It's pretty decent. This is not bad. I kind of like that it's just a simple function and they do the magic of making it a component.
Yeah,
because in Vue it needs to be a component file and there's some fancy stuff going on. Here it's just JavaScript.
It's a function. It's just it's just a function returning HTML with JavaScript inside it. So
yeah, and here we can do whatever the hell we want, I think, but I don't know what that would be. But I think this is like a nice base.
Say and props.name2, for example. I mean, that's a bit stupid naming.
It's a little silly, but yes.
I'm sorry, but it's like, thinking live.
No, but the thing is, we need to have small steps, to be honest. That's how we can...
Yeah, I like to do things little by little, and then that should say, well, hello, Debbie and Tim. Woo, woo!
And what I kind of like is that the hot module reload is super fast.
It is quite fast.
Of course, it's a small app, but it feels faster than Next.
You can't compare Next application that's got all these modules and plugins.
Yeah, here there's nothing going on.
There's nothing here, so I won't compare that yet.
Yeah,
we'll compare that.
Let's not compare. When we do Next, we can compare.
Oh, an update. I don't want an update right now in the middle of a live stream, seriously.
No, we finally have shit working. Let's not update anything.
My battery's at 77%, so I reckon we could go on for like half an hour more, and then my computer's...
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so now we did something, but remember, next part. You were looking on the docs.
Yeah.
You were looking at that CSS stuff. Why don't we try that? Because they have dynamic CSS based on props and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have that in Vue, not really.
No, we don't.
So how do we find that and how can we add it? I'm not sure if it's a good thing to do, but I kind of want to try. There it is.
Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to create, look, this is the file name. Duh! right?
I'm.
This should be here, like UX
Do we
wise.
first? Yeah, this is a bit stupid, but
Let's
do we
create
need
a
to
theme
figure out
context.
what a React context is?
Right. So I know what a React context is. It's
Please tell me.
yeah. So it's like it's the context, right? So this is a theme context. So it's like in Nuxt we also have the context, right? You get access to things and you can use it then
Okay.
to your
I
application.
think this is, to me, it feels like in React, if you want to make a React context, it becomes a component you put around all your other stuff and
Yeah.
it injects stuff. Yeah, it's like in
Like
Next, we have it too.
the context provides a way to pass data through the component tree without having to pass props down manual at every level. So you know the way we pass in
Ah,
when we
nice.
pass in the config runtime configs and stuff through the context, and we pass in store, like that kind of stuff.
Okay, and then in every component, you can just grab, store, and it works.
Yeah,
That's what this does too.
yeah,
I like this, but here they make it a component, I think.
yeah. Context is designed to share data that can be considered global. Like
I
store
like
is
it.
global in Nuxt, for example.
Yeah,
Um,
and here everything is a component anyways. So let's just make a component that is the context, and then, yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
So should we start at the beginning?
Yeah, I'm kind of like we're starting with classes again now. I don't like that approach. What we have is much cleaner.
Right. So let's go back down to like this tells you before you use the context that you should understand what it does, the page. But I had a nice example down here that I went to.
So I think what they wanted to do with this little example is we give a context, and inside the context we set a theme, dark or light. And
Yeah.
then when you change the context with a property somewhere, here, like
Yeah.
here,
This is what I wanted.
suddenly the theme changes. I
Yeah.
kind of like this.
Right. So let's copy this and put it in a
Yeah,
theme
and we just
context JS. Okay.
exactly.
Now I'm putting it under, is it a component?
Uh, I guess. Let's. You know what? It's React.
Yes.
Everything is a component.
Oh my God. This is
I,
so hard
I
for
feel like if some React people are looking at this, they're like, dude, what is this? Why? Oh,
Okay.
we
So
have to import
have to
React, I
import
think.
React. Can I do a quick fix VS Code? Are you gonna just do that for me?
Yeah, click it,
No,
import.
really? Oh,
Oh, well,
oh.
the thing is, if we had TypeScript, it would probably have worked.
It would have worked. Import React from, is it just React from React? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm basically exporting a const of themes, which is a object with light on dark, and then I'm exporting that. I'm exporting the const of theme context, which creates a new React context and gets my themes dot dark, which is the default value. So if I don't get anything, you're in dark mode.
Okay, so now
Okay.
themes.dark, and what does that give? Background and foreground. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's clear. Okay, so
So
now we created a context.
now we're going to
Oh,
create a,
look, we have the, yeah, sorry, continue.
I was going
I'm
to
just
say, now
excited to see something I understand.
so now we've got a button, right? And we're importing the theme context and we're using, but we're using classes. I'm sorry, I don't know if people use classes or whatever, but this is all over the documentation is classes. So we have to be using classes at some stage. That's just,
You know what? I think what we can do, looking at
we can just,
also, they're just exporting the class, right? We can probably make this a function as well.
I really, yeah, I'm not bothered. Theme button.js. I just want it to work.
Yeah, okay. Let's first make it work and then we refactor it to a function. I like that.
Right. So we are now, oh, look, why in the docs do you not also give me the import React?
Honestly, that's pretty silly, right? You know
My
what?
opinion. That's just me.
You know what could be cool? If we
What?
did a startup that would write documentation for people. We
Well,
would be rich as hell.
well, doesn't
Like,
TypeScript try and do it for you?
yeah, but I mean
Okay.
documentation on websites.
Okay, React from React, import the context, the theme context. This is coming from
Yeah.
React context. And look at that. When I hover over it, it's giving me the foreground of a string and the background of a string.
Ooh, fancy.
That is cool. I like
I
that.
like that. I like that.
So
Okay, and so a
themed button is a class of themed button or module themed button, and it extends our React, which is imported
component.
component, which is a component of type any. Nice. See, I'm learning TypeScript.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
it
we're
has a
doing
render function.
props which are read-only, which are any, and they
But
have children of React Node.
but you're skipping one part.
Oh, the
You're
render,
using
sorry.
the render function on the React component class. If we just made it a function like we did with the welcome, it does that automatically, I think.
Okay.
But let's keep it at this. If this
Yeah.
works, I'm happy.
So
And then
we're getting a button.
yeah,
We're passing in the props, and the props is our this dot props and
yeah.
our theme, which is coming from the context.
So why is this magically working if we import theme context, right? Why is it suddenly working with this dot context? To me, or did we miss a step? Maybe we. Oh no, this is probably we're missing
No,
the step here
we're not,
because because how does it know about this context now?
because it's just imported it from theme context.
Yeah, but we never assign it anywhere.
What do you mean?
We haven't assigned theme context anywhere.
We have
The
an
line
import.
2 is a variable, right? It's nowhere.
We're
You see that?
importing. No.
Yeah. Oh wait, no.
No.
It's assigned on line 16. It's assigned on line 16.
Yeah.
And that's why the theme button, which is our class, now gets context type as a prop on the class.
Yeah.
I kind of understand now why we don't use classes as much anymore, because this is kind of, it feels like PHP stuff.
So yeah, and we're basically styling the background color of the theme dot background, which is, if I hover over this, it's gonna, no, it doesn't tell me what I wanted to tell me. We'll just go here, which is coming from here, right?
Yeah, I love my colleague just texted to me in Slack that what we're doing is completely ghetto, because with classes it's really hard to do the context thing.
But why is it
I
in
like
the
it because
documentation then?
exactly, because he just sent me like a 3-liner. That's
No
so much.
way.
It's so much nicer. Yeah,
Do you want
let's
to
do
talk?
this and then
Okay.
fix this and then
Right.
we refactor.
So let's try and use the themed button in here, right? Which is just going into our app and saying themed button.
Yes, I kind of liked it. Okay.
And
Okay.
let's not do anything because I don't even know what this does.
No, I don't actually
Okay,
know
we
what
have
I'm
a button.
supposed to. Oh, maybe we have to give it a prop with some text.
Yeah, that's what the props are. So this is something like I was unsure about, right? When we're getting this props here, is this like meant to be like slots for us, or like what are we meant to be doing with this?
It's not a slot. It's basically just grabbing the props and giving it 2 buttons. So a prop here can be inline style or whatever we want to give to this as HTML properties is now given to the button.
So
oh look, this is a self-closing HTML button.
Yeah, and there's
this
no
is the
text.
worst fucking.
Don't
this
say
is
that.
a terrible. This is so bad. This is actually wrong HTML. Oh, now I understand why React developers don't know semantics and stuff, because their docs are not even showing semantics.
Don't say that.
Oh my.
Can't say bad things about things.
Don't say bad things about because of reasons.
No, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, look. We have a button. We want to get text into a button. How do we get text into the button?
You know what? Let's do a prop.
Right. So we go. What do we say? Prop what? What do we do? I don't know. I don't get this. This is confusing.
Okay, so we call it text, and then we call it awesome button, and then we add a prop inside, and we close the button properly like HTML would do. And we add the prop
in our
there.
themed button, or where we're using it?
Well, let's first pass it along where we're using it, right?
So in app.
Yes.
Themed button. What do we put in here? Text equals click me. Right? But if I go here, I don't get that, right? Because text doesn't exist, doesn't have anything to refer to.
Okay, so text click me. So now let's go to.
Or do I not just have to do like this here and like just put la la la?
No, there are no slots in React. Well, it is. I know I've seen it exist because my colleague showed me.
Slots are children. Slots are children.
Exactly. They call it children's with an S. It's weird. No, nothing will happen now because we didn't assign that text anywhere.
So we need to go in here.
So remove that, like on line 12, we have that closing thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So now we just remove. Yeah. So here we just do. How do you call this? Mustache bracket open. Props.text. with only one mustache, I think.
Yeah.
It's one and then props.text, I think. I think. I don't know.
Yay!
Yes! You know what's funny here? We now, I think this works because we gave it like the dark one,
Yeah.
the dark context, right? So the
And
text is dark, I think. Oh, we can actually now give it a color. No, but now you're changing the background color. But that works actually. I
yeah.
like it. So are we meant to do inline styling like this with React?
But this is, I don't know. This is just changing the theme. Here is my theme, right? So in this, oh, but I don't have to change it here because this is, I can change it. Can I change it here? No, in up.
I don't think so because we're
Can
we're
I put,
hardcoding it kind of.
I don't know.
Because look at the props. It's only the theme that's added to the style. You cannot add a theme in the props on app.js.
But
By
do
the
I
way,
not have
before
theme? Do I not have access to theme here?
no, this
Like,
is this doesn't look. I would love to have that, but this is not.
like,
There's no prop that says dark or theme anywhere.
like that makes sense to
That
me.
that's the.
Do you know what
But
I
I
mean? That
feel
makes
like,
sense to me, right? But that
but
doesn't
that
work.
context is global stuff, right? So that's supposed to be
Yes.
around our component. So how do we change the context now? This is. Do we maybe have to read the docs again? Wait, before you go there, my colleague just sent me something we can use.
Okay, go on.
And
Go on.
it so inside that button, instead
Yeah.
of props.text, do props.children.
Here come the children.
Yeah, now go to app.js. And then instead of test equals click me, you're going to do it like a slot that we have in Vue.js. So you're going to just type click me and then close Teams button. So basically like normal HTML
Okay.
kind of. No, I think without those fancy curlies.
Okay.
And we have to close, Teams button. And now, because it just grabs those children of whatever it finds inside and shows it. It's like a default slot in Vue.
Yeah. That makes. Oh no, that one.
It doesn't. Oh wait, we might have not closed something correctly.
Themed. Oh, I closed it the wrong way around. Sorry.
This is the live feeling.
So
You see,
I have.
that works. But like the second one doesn't work anymore because we don't actually do
Don't have
props.text.
text anymore, right? So these are my slots. I like this. This makes more sense.
Yeah, I like this much more.
Okay, so then get rid of that, and it's not. Yeah, because now it's in the right place. So and like we can just go, click me again. Oh, and I lost my. Why did I lose that? Where did that go?
I'm actually learning more now. Let's go do this.
Told you. You
I
went
almost,
too hard. Look at that. Woohoo! You did it too
you know
hard
what I feel
for.
like we should do? I
What?
almost want to just invite my colleague into the stream so he can actually show us.
Oh,
Is that possible or is that crazy?
no, that's cool. Is he available?
I don't know. He's watching because he's telling me what to do the whole time. Because he's like, oh, that's jank. Do it like this. Well, let me just ask him. So what you can do, like he told me, right? So you can actually do theme context dot provider as a component around our buttons, and there we can actually change the theme value. So it's like theme and capital context dot provider. Yeah. And then you can do as a prop value equals, and then it's an object, he says.
Value equals.
Yeah, as an object and whatever we want to put in there, because you can probably, so no quotes around it, exactly. why don't we just look at our theme context to see what we can put there? Here,
Theme?
themes light. So you know what? If you have a URL, he can actually join us.
Yeah. Do you know the one I sent to you?
Yeah, I'll send it to him.
It's the same one.
This is fun. We're gonna actually get like, I guess, one of the best developers I know who to help us. That's gonna be fun.
Oh god, this is so funny. But this just goes to show, like, I want to learn React, and the docs are just like confusing.
It's there. Honestly, there. It's yeah. So
I'm struggling here. This is really hardcore stuff, and it's like I just want it to be easy, and it should be easy because it's like that's easy. This is easy. I get this, right? This click me inside. This is perfect.
I just want to know what that context provider is giving us, because can you look at the theme context.js for a sec? Oh, is he coming? Nice.
Yes, I can. Okay, and let me put you. I have to do another scene, right? I have to figure this out. So bear with me.
Oh, you have to make a scene with multiple people in it, I guess.
Bear with me. I unlock this. I'm going to add to the right. Oh, there we go. Three people on the scene. Yay. Hi, Cam. Welcome.
Hi.
This is so funny.
Cam has been silently helping me in the chat, and he's actually just like, dude, why you use classes? What the hell is this? What's that jank? So
these docs are strange. I don't know why they're telling you to do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah, these docs are strange, but how do we learn if the docs are strange?
It's not very helpful, is it?
No. Okay, so we've got theme context.provider. I was thinking just like spread my theme. Is that not?
But you don't have themes here, right? Where is that coming from?
Like I'm here.
So if you go into your theme context there, you can see on the create context there, it's passing themes.dark there on line 14.
Yeah.
So without the theme provider there, the reason why you were getting dark theme is because you were initializing create context with the default value of themes.dark.
Yeah.
That makes
and so that was the default value. Like if there is no provider there, like if you're not giving it a specific value, it's going to use that default value. So when you're using the context inside the component, you get themes.dark, which is why you were seeing the dark themed button there.
Okay.
So when you add the provider, you have to give it an object. So like, for example, if you pass it, since you have export themes out of here, you could do, for the value, you could pass it themes.light, for example. And then that would change the theme to light, and then you would see the button restyle. So if you go to...
Okay, so yeah, so basically this theme context component knows what themes is here, because we export it. Okay. I think an S.
Right.
There we go.
The nice thing about it is everything here is basically a function or an object. So it feels very JavaScript-y. You know, there's no magic stuff going on here.
So
exactly. And it seems, Debbie, that we are so used to Vue.js that kind of wraps this stuff. So it's less JavaScript-y and a little bit more like, hey, this is a language.
Sure,
that we're almost not used to this.
So
exactly.
What am I doing here? Theme context. First of all, I need to import this, right?
Yep.
I'm getting used to importing things.
Yeah, actually now because Debbie used to work at Nuxt, and we're now both ambassadors. And in Nuxt, they have this new thing where they just globally auto import all components in memory. So when we use it, it just works.
Yeah.
So we're no longer used to importing anything.
Where do I import theme context from?
It's from
it'd be from the theme context.js there.
Ah, okay, it's just a file. Okay, sorry. So it's not it's actually the file as opposed to a React thing.
Yep.
So Cam, what time is it for you? Early, right?
It's 8:17.
Wow.
Oh. Good way to start the day.
Yeah.
So why my value? What am I putting in my value? Is it theme?
So the value is just a JavaScript object. So in this case, if you in theme context, there's a named export as well for themes. So if you import both the default theme context as well as also the named themes that it exports, that's the actual objects. Or you could actually pass an arbitrary object here. Basically this, you know, the context lets you drill an object down through multiple layers of React components, just like you were talking about a Vue context doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the value you're providing there on theme context.provider is actually the value that you want to pass down those multiple props. Like it's just an object. So it could be something that comes from a React state. It could be something that is hard-coded. It could be something that's, the result of a fetch call or, a user preference like a theme color. So in this case, if you get the themes export out of theme context and then just pass it themes.light, it will override the default value of themes.dark and then pass the light values into the themes button.
So Debbie, here on line 5, you just do like mustache bracket open, and then you get theme context, but then also comma themes. So you get both of those because they're named exports.
But theme context is not a named export; it's a default.
No,
so you don't need braces
actually.
around.
So
no braces around theme context. Leave theme context the way it is, and then add a comma and then curly braces themes.
Say that again.
On line 5 there. So get rid of the curly braces the way you had it. Yep, just like that.
Yeah.
And then a comma, and then in curly braces say themes. So you're getting both a default export, which is theme context, and a named export, which is themes.
Oh, and then it works.
Yes.
So technically this, yes, it does contain a default. Why does it not contain a default export?
Well, let's have a look at that theme context file. Oh,
it is a named export.
It's a name. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Get rid of it and stick it in the curly braces.
Get rid of it?
Yeah, so just
stick
put
theme
it
context within the curly braces.
There we go.
Okay, we got dark. So this is probably not exactly a very good example, but let me just see if I understand what I'm doing. Let me take that one out. Take that one out because it doesn't really matter.
I would suggest to remove the prop theme equals light, as it does nothing anyways.
Yeah, it's just confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just going to do that, but I just want to see if they come up different colors now. Okay, so yeah,
yes,
wrong kind of text kind of decisions,
but you know what I like about this is the fact that you can make it like some sort of global injection, but not completely global, because you can scope it to a bunch of components.
You can
how do you do this in Nuxt or Vue? I don't think there's a nice way to do this.
No,
I kind of like it.
No, you can't do it.
It can get interesting because a lot of production React apps will end up with a whole bunch of providers wrapping its app at the root for all different theme providers or different.
That kind of worries me.
What else would you use in this provider? So we're just using a color for a theme, for example, right? What else would you put in here?
Themes and colors are a really common thing. So like a lot of CSS and JS libraries might use some kind of provider to bring theme values down. Okay. Pretty much anywhere where you have a sort of ambient value that you might want to spread around. For example, in Uniform, we have a personalization context where we want to know what the scores a user currently has. So we have a provider that lets you grab that value anywhere inside your app as long as you're within our Uniform tracker provider. So you can basically access within any component what the current visitor's scores are. But essentially, anywhere where you want to have a global value that you can access without, drilling down props through multiple components is where you'd want to use this.
This is kind of like our store. Tim?
Sorry?
This is like our store.
Yeah, but you don't need the store now, which is kind of cool. Because in Vue.js, if you want to do global state management, the best way is just the store, because otherwise props go mental, right? It's too much stuff. Prop into smaller component into prop.
For state, you need it.
Exactly. And then I think with Vue 3, this is kind of doable as well.
Yeah.
So Cam, how does hooks fit into this stuff? So how would you characterize a hook basically?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't realize it'd be coming to an interview.
This could be a job interview. How about that? No, but we honestly don't know stuff like this.
Well, hooks is like the way the composition API. Hooks is a way of getting state, right? And using state.
Yes and no at the same time. I mean, you can do practically anything with hooks, and it's a different mental model to wrap your head around. Like that, In React, when you're using a functional component, like every time the component renders, the function gets called again, right? And hooks are sort of a way that you can keep some state around or keep, shared functionality around between those renders. So, sort of the canonical example that's in the React hook stocks to start with would be like a use state hook, where you have a button and you click the button and then you use the use state hook to keep around the number of times you click the button. So like every time you click the button, it says, you've clicked 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and it's all within a function. It's just this hook basically stores a little bit of state between the function calls. And in this case, for the context, for example, if you go to your themed button JS, you can also use context with the use context hook. So instead of the in themed button, there's the themed button.context type there. Like instead of having like the render method and all this other stuff, like you could replace all that with basically in a functional component, you would just say use context, pass it theme context, and the result of that function in your render becomes the value of the context. So it simplifies this whole thing down by a lot to get rid of the class components, which is why I think the React team is even saying that class components are considered not necessarily deprecated, but like that you wouldn't want to use them for new development except in very specific circumstances.
Okay.
Well, Debbie, let me send you a message in Twitter with how come actually send it to me, how we can refactor this quite easily, just like he said, with the use context. If I send this to you, you can probably put it in the code.
We're sending code messages through Twitter.
How else do you want me to get it on the screen right now?
I could just live share with you, and then we could like connect. But this is fine.
The thing is, we can try that, but I'd have to install that. Oh, I do have it.
Don't worry.
Oh wow!
So
that's gonna take like 10 minutes to set up. So that's just.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So here.
So what am I removing, and what am I like? This is a two.
Well, let's call this. Let's call this thing themed button, right? Because that's what that component is.
Right.
And so now the context is actually that theme context that you get from the one you imported. So this use context is the hook here.
The context
and then
not used.
Sorry, go on.
So we need to put this. This is our actual component.
Yeah, and what we also need to do is on line 18, where it's a function, we have to actually add props inside also.
We're gonna have to do that?
Yeah.
See, I know what I'm doing. I know my stuff, Tim.
I'd never said you didn't. So
right, and we don't need an export default because we're already exporting. And right.
We need to add props in the function call.
We need to add props in the function call.
Yeah, like on line 18, in between in the braces. Yeah, so now it knows that props is usable.
Okay.
Right, you need to.
Why is it red?
We already have
we've already declared. That's fine. That's fine. And this one is not being used. So why am I declaring it but never used? Where am I going to use the context in this? Because here.
So just rename context to theme, and it will work.
Okay.
Yeah, because
the nice thing about it is, a hook is just a function you're calling that returns a value. So it's pure JS here. You can name theme whatever you want, and it just becomes the current value of the context.
Exactly.
So
you know what?
And we had a question in chat about, what's the equivalent of computed in React? I mean, the short answer is the equivalent of computed in React is you just write JavaScript, and it is all computed during render. So if I wanted to compute a value based on, say, theme.foreground, I just write an if statement, declare a variable, and use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what you see now in Vue 2 with the options API. Computed had to be added in to make it like dynamic stuff, because they didn't have that. And now with Vue 3, you can also see that computed is, you can now also, like in React, say, hey, this one is reactive, and it uses a proxy behind the scenes and stuff like that. And so Vue 3 is going to look so much more like this.
Oh, completely.
That's why Like
I
can you remove this and see if it works? Sorry, continue.
Ooh, hang on a second. I'm on the wrong screen for deleting, and I was deleting something I shouldn't have been deleting.
Oh boy.
Okay. So use context. is not defined. So we need to import.
Yep, it's from React. So if you just add a comma after React and then do in curly's use context.
So this is a hook, right?
Yep, that's a hook.
Okay, so we're hooking. Woohoo! Tim, we're hooking on the first day.
Did we just hook?
We just hooked, but we failed. We failed to hook.
Oh yeah, of course, because we're
It
exporting
doesn't
it
contain a
differently now.
default export. Hang on a moment.
Right,
Yeah,
so
so you
themed
can-
button right now is a named export, and
Yeah.
you'd want to change it to be a default.
So export default and then just not call it themed button. Just remove all this.
Yep. The only caveat
Yeah.
is that that's going to get rid of the display name on the component. So if you do like debug tools or something like that, you would end up seeing no name for this component, which can get strange.
Oh yeah, I actually tried, like when we were preparing for the conference for Gatsby. I installed the React developer tools. My eyes were bleeding. It's like the worst. I didn't expect that.
So should
you
we
just
not do that? Like
no,
that-
this is
that's
actually
how-
correct. This is just remove
Yeah,
it.
so usually
and then you're-
you would just say, const themed button equals, and then you would just export default afterwards.
So let's do that, and let's do it properly.
Yeah, it's cleaner.
You can
Yeah,
also do
equals.
export default function if you'd rather use not arrow functions.
Too many things going on.
Yeah, so export default themed button, and then you're good.
Okay, but it's stop. So what did you say? You could also if we don't use an arrow, we can just use a normal function. But that's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so then if you're declaring it with function themed button, then you could just say export default function themed button, but you can't export default const. I'm assuming there's a good reason for that, and I don't know what it is.
I agree. I always try it and it never works. I'm like, oh yeah, let's remember.
we got our buttons. I mean, our colors are terrible, but
Yeah, but it does work.
it
And
works.
this is much cleaner code-wise. I
And
prefer
if we
this.
go in here, and if we change this to red and this to green, just for fun.
Oh, you want to go like the worst accessibility one.
Like it didn't.
I
it
don't
didn't-
see green though.
No, because I don't think
We
we're
don't-
actually using the
No,
foreground
exactly.
at all.
Let's
Yeah,
try to
it's
use some
just
foreground.
background.
It's just here. So we would have to add. Do we add like
Color,
Do we add like
comma, I think.
like
Yeah, so now that we have come, like how would you do CSS in React? Because to me, this is not really scalable.
No, it's not really scalable. So there's a lot of CSS and React is kind of a you can do it however you want. I mean, you could do it anywhere from using the class name property and
Mhm.
using traditional CSS. Like you don't have to do programmatic CSS like this. You can
Yeah.
use Tailwind in with class name, for example.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
tons of CSS and JS frameworks that make this a lot more scalable to do, like emotion styled components. A lot of the frameworks like Next.js, for example, has their own CSS and JS thing built in. So basically, you can
cool.
do whatever you want. React does not prescribe how you do styling.
Okay, well that's kind of cool. Like the Tailwind approach is so easy for so many people nowadays. I'm guessing we can just use that.
how would you use Tailwind with the context?
I mean, with a context, you would be defined. You wouldn't use theme as a context in that case necessarily.
Okay.
And honestly, if I was going to do theming from scratch and it was going to be light and dark theme, I'd probably use custom properties in CSS instead of any of this programmatic stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's nice. So you can just set some kind of a theme by properties, and those can change based on
Yep.
whatever you added. That's nice.
Yeah, like you can actually add like a data attribute or something on body for the theme. And then based on that, you can have the custom properties get set. Docusaurus 2 is a canonical example. They have like a design system they've seen it. I've seen in there that's using exactly that pattern. And it's incredibly powerful, letting you override their styles by changing the values of their custom properties. But they're also using like light and dark switching. So you can, override specific styles for either light or dark theme. And they're doing it with, I think it's a body switch.
And so is this then on the root? They have all the variables, or is it also on component level?
you could use it on either one because that's how custom properties work. If you wanted to
Yeah,
override
it's
them.
because it's yeah, exactly. Because I've been working with like Storefront UI, which is a Vue.js library, and they have set some of them on the root, but then per component they have also set them on the root of the component. And so when I
Yep.
then change it globally in the component, it doesn't change because the cascading stuff doesn't work nicely anymore. And that's actually kind of complex sometimes how they do this stuff. But yeah, this actually looks like a much nicer component now than we had before.
It looks much better than the
right? Just like a little function. Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I getting this little thing here?
Yeah. What's the error?
Why does
What
it
does
not
it tell
like
you?
unexpected use of comma?
No sequences.
Is it just because
So in the style attribute, when you've got the first layer of curly braces, there is actually creating a dynamic statement in JSX, but then the second layer is creating an actual object. And so essentially what you've ended up with here is not a JavaScript object with two settings. It's actually a JavaScript object separated by commas. So that's the way you want to do it to keep it in a single object.
And there we go.
Now it works. There we go.
Get
Yeah, we made multiple objects in another object, kind of strangely. Yeah, now this works.
Okay, this is
We go.
Interesting.
You know what? I kind of like the programmatic approach of this. It gives you so many options to do crazy stuff. Much more. You can also do much worse work, which is probably what we'll do when we do more of this.
Yeah. No, this is.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage is it's so flexible. Vue is a framework. Like it gives you a framework that you put stuff into, whereas React is like, hey, it's a function. You can write JavaScript, which means you're free to write well-factored, composed stuff, or you're free to write classic ASP in JavaScript.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I feel like we can do a code behind here. I don't know how, but
a lot of times something similar to that will be done by making a component hierarchy. So like you'd have a component at the outside that would do like data fetching and logic and stuff, but then you'd have a presentational component that had actually rendered inside it that was literally just, here's some props, render these props, give me some angle brackets. And so you end up with this hierarchy of, you've got a data component that basically all it's responsible for is computing props, and then a rendering component that all it is just take these props as a pure function and give me some results.
That's cool. So Debbie, how about we make a button and when you click on it, it shows something? Let's do some reactiveness. It's called React, right?
That's like getting full on, right?
That's the next one. So can we do a click handler on this thing and see how that would work?
So do we have like @click equals?
I don't know. This is Vue.
You just use onClick.
onClick, okay. You know onClick.
And then we have to make a function out of that.
Yep.
And then we write a function somewhere.
So
you can it's your choice. You can either declare a function somewhere to be the handler, or you could inline it either way.
So just like we would do a method, only we're just putting it up here.
Exactly. So you can literally call it function click equal is, yeah.
Okay. And
this is so JavaScripty. I'm pretty happy with this.
Just like that, right?
Yep, but you want the onClick handler to be in curly braces, so you're actually referencing the function.
Oh.
Yeah, so
no, the only just the click part.
Only that. Okay, so this is like my binding.
Yeah. So leave the attribute saying onClick, but then make click in curly braces.
Oh, click. Okay.
Yeah, so rather than a string. So this is the difference with Vue.js, where we put a colon, so it knows it's something.
We bind the other one, and you bind this. Okay, that's interesting.
Exactly.
So remove
and then get rid of the quotes entirely.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is new to us. This stuff. There we go.
Oh, this is interesting.
Basically, in React, anytime you use curly braces like that, you're turning it into now I'm writing JavaScript context.
Yeah.
Inside of your JSX.
Okay. So, should we open because I just did a console. Why don't you open? There you go. Let's see. On it. Oh, I don't know if that worked exactly. Oh, it works. It works. It works. It works. Look at that,
We
Tim.
do have a bunch of errors though. Why do we have warnings?
It could
I
be.
think those might have been from hot reload.
Yeah.
Because remember, before the curly braces were on there, it was a string
It was-
instead of a function.
Okay. Woohoo! We did it.
You know what? That was easy. But how
was
about we have another component that listens to this click and
Oh,
shows an
Jesus, Tim.
update?
You're making things.
Yeah, now we're gonna do. This is still not React. This is nothing reactive.
Right. What do you want? What do you want me to do?
Let's have another component
Yeah.
that actually shows. Let's say when you click, it just adds a number, right? An incrementer.
Oh my God. So a counter.
Yeah. So we kind of know how to make a component now.
So we always have to import React.
Yeah. I think at the capital though.
Okay. And then we're doing, let's go back to the button where we
Well, I
don't
think the
content.
welcome one is easier. The welcome one is easier to
Yeah.
copy. It has much less inside. Yeah,
Oh,
there
this
we
doesn't
go.
even import React. So this is very, very, very different. I don't even know if we need React. So,
You don't actually have to import React anymore.
oh, anymore?
Okay, here we go.
Like it's just magic now? Cool. Okay.
Yep.
Function.
You still will need like importing for hooks and things like that, but
Okay.
you don't actually have to import the root React anymore.
So counter, and we're gonna say the
Well,
number
probably-
is
And then props dot count, I think. I don't know.
that would make sense to me. That looks like I
Well,
don't
that
know.
means that we're going to add this thing. We're going to add a prop to counter, basically. Every time we click on the button, we have to re-render counter so it updates. But it needs to have some sort of state.
Yeah.
So this is the part where we don't know how to do that.
How do we get the
I think-
button
Exactly.
to pass that in? That's when you use a
This
hook.
we haven't done this before, right?
Am I
Yeah,
right?
so this could be a hook, right?
Yes. There's a state called useState that's for exactly this.
Okay, so we throw hooks in components?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
So we call this. What are we calling this? Use. No count.
You don't need a custom hook for this. You can use the default useState hook.
Oh, okay. That's even easier. So in counter, I'd put it, right?
Mm-hmm. That would be the easiest place to put it. So in React, when you're using hooks, like not everything has to come from props. Like this is where you can go from being kind of a pure function, which is like the components you've been doing so far, where everything that it renders is based on props, to having a bit of state as well that is additional to the props. So in this case, it won't actually be props.count. It'll actually be your state variable from the useState hook. So what you'll want to do there is like useState uses like array destructuring in a kind of interesting way. In that to use the state, you need both a value for the state and also a function you can use to set the state. So for example, in this case, the click handler, when you click on something, will need to, it'll need a function that will change what the state is. So, if you click a button, you want to add one to the state, you'll add a new value to it. And so what they do is they actually give you, they let you destructure an array. So the useState hook actually returns an array of two elements. The first element's the current state value. The second value is a set function. And so if you destructure it, you end up with, const open brace, state, comma, set state, in brace equals useState, and then the default value for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, I'm remembering this. This is pretty cool, actually. But we have to do this now in our counter component where we actually, or in the button component, right? We first have to set it somewhere.
Yep.
Right.
I'll send you the link to the docs here, Tim.
Yeah, sure.
This is quite funny.
Which I will now then send to Debbie.
Transitive property of data sharing.
Oh my gosh. We're like literally.
Oh my God. We're babies here.
I don't know if you can see the YouTube, if there's anything in the chat, because I think my program.
Yeah, it's actually stopped, but I'm seeing some stuff.
Yeah, it's my. So if anyone is saying anything in the chat, my whole system is just going a bit crazy. So it's not updating certain things. Therefore, it's just like decided the chat is now dead and it's not real. So if anyone's watching, I don't even know if anyone's watching. I don't even know if we're live still.
We have 11 people watching, which is
Oh
actually pretty
wow,
cool
that is very cool.
for us. Yes.
So for some,
And
I have the chat. Oh gosh, wow. Oh, I can see the chat's open on the restream, but it's not working in my in the Ecamm live
yeah,
one.
and Ecamm is not working for me either.
Yeah, I can
Okay,
see
so
Pedro's there. Great.
let's have a look at that hooks example. So this is pretty cool. The like the third line of that example function. If you can open that in the browser.
Okay, of course the browser opens in another window because Debbie has too many windows. Let me go up to this one.
Once in a while, I'm just looking to the side because I gave my wife a new Oculus headset, and she's like pointing into the air, and like, it's so funny to watch.
Okay, so this is kind of similar to what we're doing with the composition API, isn't it?
Exactly. This is very close.
Oops. So your starting value and your next value, no?
Yeah.
Const
But this you have to
The
probably
hook
do
needs to go inside counter.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
sorry.
button. Oh, inside the function. There we go.
Right. Because
Okay.
it's a state. It's state within the component's render. So it's basically something that persists between renders of this component.
And then set count, right? But this.
Yeah, so this should be in the button because we're actually clicking a button rather than this is just showing the count. This is not where we click the button.
Yeah, so
right,
we don't need this in here.
Right. So if you wanted to do the button inside a themed button, what you'd do is actually you'd have the context, the state value would be up inside of is it Welcome.js where you're composing this stuff, or is it in App.js?
Probably an app. Yeah, app.
We're just gone hardcore and show it all in here.
Right. So if you wanted to do it here, you'd need the state to be up in here, and then you would pass the set state callback into themed button as a prop, and then allow it to call it, which would then set the state up here, and then you would pass the state value into your counter.js. Does that make sense?
That kind of feels like a context again, but then differently called.
It's a context, but it's not drilling through multiple layers. Like that's the difference. Like this is a state that's going down one component layer if you're going to do it that way. But then a context would let you be n levels deep in your component hierarchy and still get at it without passing it.
So we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's from React.
From React, yeah.
Right.
And then here you can just inside function app. So on line 8 you had an enter, and there you paste the stuff you just copied.
On underline where?
On line 7 you hit enter. So before the return.
Oh, okay. Because we're setting our count to use the state of 0, so it's always at 0, which then means we can basically in our button here like set count.
Right. So you would define no, not like that. So you'd pass the function as a prop. So for example, you might say themed button, on click equals, and then pass it a ref to the set count function.
Yeah, and this is set count basically, but then in curly.
Right. In curly braces.
Oh,
you want it to be JavaScript basically.
I'm gonna do this so many times.
You were slowly getting there. Yeah, awesome.
Okay. But
this might just work because you're spreading props inside themed button.
But one second, because here's count.
Yeah, we are spreading props, exactly.
And this is set count. But count is my first
So
value?
set count's a function.
Right.
So if you call the set count function, it will update the value of the count variable on the next render. So it's a reactive re-render. So if I call set count and set it to 2, it will cause app to re-render. And then the count variable during that re-render will be equal to 2.
So what you can do now, Debs, is actually have the counter component here and give count as a prop to it so it can show it.
Right.
Now we're getting a bit hardcore. So I don't need the
So
use.
now you would actually
Yeah.
have props.count. There's no use state in here. Like
Yeah.
the counter
Exactly, so-
component is literally just rendering a dropout markup tag.
So this is right.
Yeah, this is correct.
So then let me just save that. And then in
Okay,
app,
so we have to import this into app.
oh my God, do you when you have a load of components, do you like just not have like so many component import statements?
You
I'm
can
not
end
sure
up
if
with
this
a
is
lot
the
of component
place.
import statements.
Yeah.
It gets super easy though if you're using TypeScript, because Visual Studio Code can infer it 99% of the time.
Okay.
So it doesn't really bother me, because I just end up being like, yep, code complete it for me. I know I want this component, and it'll figure out where
Exactly.
it is.
It will
Write it.
fill it out for you. Yeah, that's something we don't have so much in Vue now, because Vue 2 with its option API can just not deal with that. Okay. So let's just put it under the welcome or whatever.
Yeah. So just render it out and then pass it the, was it count? I think is the property, and then pass it the value of the count.
So count equals curly count.
Count equals, okay, JavaScript land and count.
Yep.
Okay. And
if this works, it was honestly pretty easy. It's just in Vue there's a lot more magic, so you don't see how this works. Okay, so something.
Yes.
Oh, the React that is imported is capitalized and it's lowercase.
Oh, I'm gonna do that so many times.
Oh, and I told you to go.
No, but it was the other way around. It was capital and the other way around. Okay, that's
mistake.
Good. We have Webpack require stuff.
There's another React with a capital somewhere.
Really? Debbie,
yeah, maybe in our.
There's nothing here. This is okay.
Try refreshing. It might have just gotten confused.
It seems so.
You're saying Webpack gets confused?
We don't see Webpack being confused as much.
It didn't like it intercepted the onclick to be
Can you? Well, we're spreading the props, so I'm thinking it should work.
Here.
Oh wait, no, we have two.
Oh, you've got an
now.
onclick in there.
Remove the onclick here, because we're passing this as well. Which is kind of now it did inception on itself, I think.
Yeah, but it doesn't know it's here, right? Because it's not going to get this.
Right,
well,
but it's not asking for that. So when you have the spread of props there, you're basically saying any prop you pass in, make it an HTML attribute.
Okay.
So when we pass the onClick prop in, it's going to say button onClick, and then have that function.
Hang on a moment.
Or it's going to blow up.
No, it's blowing up. It's blowing up. So we're doing something completely wrong here. So our button is passing our props down. It's passing our style. Okay, it's got me children. We're getting used to children.
Oh, is it because we're putting props to children in there?
No, props children should be fine. The error, so what it's complaining about from what I saw in the error message is like it's suggesting that like the props.count there might be a JS object instead of like a scalar value.
This?
Yeah, so I mean you can write any JavaScript expression in there, right? So you could try and like write out an object, but React doesn't like it when you try to write out an object, so it will throw an error saying, you've tried to write an object as children, which is not allowed. Something is strange here, because this should totally be working. Let's take a look at that error message.
Yeah, maybe make it a bit bigger in the console and zoom in.
Let me refresh. The number is, I lost my, okay, so this is the problem.
It is something.
No, because I removed this. If I save this, so the props.count is what's causing the error for sure. It gets the start state is okay, but then it goes crazy. So is it something to do with use state?
Well, try getting rid of that initial space there.
Oh, the space. You think that could be it?
I don't think so. No, I think that should be valid, but it is something that's minorly strange. And then the second thing to trace is what is the value of that prop we're passing?
What is the value of which props.count?
Like in app.js.
Yeah. So much going on.
We're passing count equals count.
Which is coming.
Which count should be an integer.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what it is. This is something TypeScript would totally have saved us from, because we're passing set count as the on-click handler, but the signature of set count is that it expects to take an integer, but it's actually being passed the event, like it's being passed the HTML event for the on-click. So we just need to stick it inside a function. So instead of directly passing set count, pass it an anonymous function there that calls set count equals count plus 1.
So you can just do braces, or how do you call those in English?
Like if you look in the hooks docs that we had open earlier, it has the example of init's on-click handler.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that.
So you see how they're passing an anonymous function there?
Yeah. We're actually telling it what to do.
Right, but it needs to be prefixed with an arrow function, because otherwise, like right now, that on-click function is being it's an actual HTML click handler, so
Right.
it's getting passed as a parameter the element and the event. But what we want to do is actually make it not do that. We just want it to be a click handler that performs set count, not that is set count.
I get you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Makes sense.
Did it? Do you reckon I refreshed? Do you reckon it works? Oh my god, it works. Right? So
so there was a lot of steps to get this, but the thing is, it's very clear of why it works.
Yes.
You can trace every step, and in Vue, it's all wrapped up in a nice little bow, and you don't actually follow what you did.
What would happen if we did another button on click method, right? Now, if I'm doing this, am I sharing state? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So either one of them would do it, because when it comes down to it, the state is owned by that use state hook, and it's just a variable when you're done there.
And then if I wanted to do this, I just put count 2. I know that's a terrible name, but set count 2, count.
Exactly.
2. Oh, wow, look at me. So click me, and then, oh yeah, that's not going to work.
You'd need another counter there to show it out, but yeah, it would work.
I need another counter for.
So you see how this resembles to like use reference or use like the stuff we do in Vue 3, where you can actually say this is now a thing that is dynamic or this is reactive.
Oh, this needs to be count, doesn't it? The prop.
Yep.
Yeah, that needs to be count. Yeah, it's really close to Vue actually now.
Well, Vue 3 is getting really close to React, you mean?
Exactly. And they did it because it's so composable.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about it.
Yeah.
And also, it's so much more clear now what is what, like which variable does what. Is it like, is it reactive or not? And you have set it. Because in Vue 2, everything you put in is just reactive by default, even if you don't actually use it as something that's reactive. Yeah. So it's all just magic. And if you have to set it, that's nice. I like this.
But one question here, my const count, and then I've set count. Count is what? The starting one?
Count is the value. Count is the current value of the hook or of the state. Set count is a function that sets the state, and then the 0 in the use state is the initial value of it.
Okay.
So if you just used use state and didn't pass 0, for example, the starting value of count would be undefined.
And if I start with, I don't know, 13, that's an unlucky number.
Then it would start with 13.
Okay. And then down here, this is because it's a prop, right? But the count is basically the value. So I'm saying count is equal to the value. That makes sense. And here I'm saying set count, which is the function, pass in the value plus 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Look at me.
Or can you just do count plus plus or something? That's the same, I guess.
Yeah, you could
just
no count plus plus would be bad because it would try and set the value, and you don't want to touch the count variable itself. Like you only want to touch
because
it
then you would
setter.
Locally. Yeah, you're right, because you'd locally changing it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that makes no sense. Oh, yeah, you see, you need to just get that in your mind.
This
that
is
makes
really
sense.
cool. And using the chat wanted us to do a to-do app.
Honestly, we wouldn't have been able to do this.
This is funny because I didn't think when you guys started to learn React that you would start by, okay, let's do context and passing state around between component hierarchies. Like, you guys kind of just jumped to the end here. Yeah.
What would you do?
But the thing is, our daily lives in Vue are this. So we kind of jump there because we're like, it should be just as easy, which is
it's basically
actually true.
because
but different.
we're used to building things, so we just want to build, right? We don't want to like start from the beginning and try and
Yep.
figure out. So we
No,
just want to do
exactly.
what we
I
know to
totally
do.
understand.
And all the syntax is different, and we're doing things is like it's just not getting into our heads.
Yeah, the JSX is a little bit cumbersome to learn for me, but it's fine.
No, it's
Like,
just a syntax thing. It's just the fact that like
exactly.
the source, and we would be doing this in Vue, right? We'd be putting the two dots there, and that's now turning it into JavaScript. Whereas here, we got to put the JavaScript part on the other one. So it's just a matter of once you know the differences, I think, then it becomes easy. And if you've studied the composition API, then this makes sense, right?
Yep. And if you want to get really crazy, you can make custom hooks that compose multiple hooks. Okay. So, for example, if you imagine you want to make a fetch call, for example, you can end up composing it so that you basically end up with a custom hook, like, use fetch result and then a variable, and then that variable becomes the result of the fetch when it's finished loading. I mean, that's getting more on the advanced end of hooks, but if you grab something like there's a React use package on NPM that has a use async hook that's really super easy to use for stuff like this, or Vercel has the SWR library that does stale while revalidate with async calls, where essentially you just write an async function that does your fetch, and then you get back a loading variable that says if it's loading, and you get back a value variable that's undefined, or when it's finished loading, it's that value. And it becomes really super easy to just reactively deal with async loading.
Man, this is like the computed values in Vue, but nicer, because you can kind of, well, I'm not sure if it's nicer, it's just similar. But in that hook kind of thing, that's where you put your promise, and that's where you deal with everything, right?
Right. Yeah. So internally, something like that would be a combination of use effect, which is to use a side effect that doesn't necessarily complete, that you block with some dependencies when you should refetch, basically, and then a use state to hold the result of that when it finishes. There's a few interesting things about component mounting and unmounting during promises that are a pain to handle, but that's the gist of it.
Must be. Okay. So I actually have another meeting soon.
Yes, no, we've just been on for 2 hours doing this, so yeah, we really.
But I learned like so much.
Cam, thank you.
I learned that I actually, sorry, go on.
This has been fantastic. Yeah, like, thank you for jumping in, and we started your day off a very different and interesting way.
It was fun though.
It was a lot of fun, and I think I learned more during this hour from you than I would have if I had to spend like 2 days trying to study this. So.
I completely agree. I wouldn't have learned this at all. I would have just been upset that my state wasn't passed, right?
And then we were using classes for no reason.
Exactly. I would be using classes. I would be using props for everything. So this is nice.
This is cool. We should do this again. Go deeper.
Well, you know what? For next time, why don't we just come up with something to actually build, like a proper thing?
I think we can now that we know what we're doing. I think now it's easier. Whereas the first we were just like let's read the docs and try and learn. But it's a really good thing to show people, right? That it's not just as easy to just go to the docs and learn. Even people like us who are like long-term developers are struggling to learn things.
So, Cam, for our company, this is a good learning. Like, how do people read those docs?
Yeah.
And are they actually useful? And I think ours are pretty decent, but I think there's still a way to go to make that easier for people.
Yeah. And someone
it's a very good lesson. I think seeing the React docs, I haven't read them in a really long time, that they haven't really been updated to stick with the way that modern React is written. And it's not, I mean, like if you listen to, Dan Abramov or whatever, how he is talking about hooks, and, if you read the hooks docs, they explain pretty well, like how to use hooks. But then if you go to the main documentation, I had no idea they were still writing class components in there. Like, that's bonkers. That hasn't been the way we wanted to do things basically for a long time in React, ever since hooks came out.
I'm
great learning.
I'm doing Kent C. Dodd's course at the moment, and I think now it's going to start sinking in because I already now understood. I think when I only learn when I actually do things, right? And I was watching it. I was sitting back and watching it, but it wasn't registering. And then today, it's like, oh yes, I get this. I know this works. This makes sense.
I guess failing on stream is the best way to learn something
I
fast.
really think it is, because you just have to figure it out. Yeah. We should
Yeah,
fail on
there's
stream more often.
yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm so sorry. I do need to
Yes.
drop and
You
go
go,
to
you
a
go.
meeting.
Thank you everyone for watching in the stream. Thanks everyone. And yeah, we'll do this again. And again, Cam, we owe you beers. Next time if we meet in person, I will personally buy you 5
Yes.
beers.
Sounds really fun. You can teach me Vue.
Oh God, yeah, that should be fun.
Oh boy, now we better show him some Vue then. Oh, you know what? That could be actually a fun stream, like showing developers who haven't used Vue as much how things work, and then actually having to explain it, the stuff we use every day. That's the
There
trick.
we go. We could do the opposite stream. You could have me on here, and I'll try and figure out Vue and fumble around while you guys tell me how to do it proper. Like
exactly. And you'd also learn about React just from watching you struggle with Vue. Because you learn what I do and saying, but don't you bind it here? And what about this? And you go, no, that's right. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, perfect. I love it.
I'm going to close the stream. So everyone, thank you for watching.